Alright, so today I'm back with another Blue Lock leak video, and today we will go over chapter 307. Now I say this all of the time, but this is truly one of the best chapters we have gotten in a while, as we see a totally new World 11 player, but not only that, as we also finally get to see the GOAT Sei Itoshi, which got me so hyped. But I don't want to say too much, so you will just have to sit back and watch to find out what happens. Anyway, before jumping into it, please leave a like and a comment as well as join the Discord server. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. Also, if you want to check out the leaks for yourself, then I will put a link down in the comments where you can look at them. So we start this chapter off with the text saying, Isagi's long-awaited trip to Europe begins, heading to the country of football and passion. A new ego awaits. We then see Isagi getting off his plane and saying that he has arrived. Isagi starts to walk on the street of Barcelona. He then thinks back to when he got the ticket and says that it was inside the cardboard box sent by Ego, and that it was a plane ticket and a football match ticket. Isagi says that to get to know the world's football firsthand, that's the task from Ego. He then thinks that he might as well do a bit of sightseeing until the match. He then says that there are also tickets for matches in England, Germany, and other countries, but today's game is the Spanish League's Copa del Rey final, saying that it's FC Barça versus Chocorid. Isagi then explains that it's a super intense match in one of the world's top leagues, and that Barça is the club Bachira and Otoya chose during the Neo-Egoist League, saying that this is their top team with their best players. He then, very wholesomely, says that he's super excited. However, suddenly his stomach starts to signal that it's time for food, so he decides that before the match, he has to go and eat something. He opens the menu. However, he obviously knows no Spanish, so it's a bit hard for him. He looks at the menu. However, he is unable to decode what any of it actually means. Isagi then decides to ask for help, so he goes to the guy sitting to his right and excuses himself. The guy says hello to him, but still in Spain, so Isagi just says hola back. Isagi then notices that he has a scar on his face. He then asks him what the food that he is eating is. However, the guy is still not really getting what it is that Isagi wants to say. So to fix that, Isagi puts in his headphone from the Neo-Egoist League, which makes him able to hear what the other guy is saying. Isagi then once again asks what the dish that he is eating is. The guy is firstly amazed that he can hear Isagi before he says that it's called audio fu and is pretty much pasta. Isagi just then makes a kind of awkward laugh out of nowhere before the other guy asks Isagi where he is from. Isagi says that he's from Japan, and the guy then asks him why he is here. Isagi tells the mysterious man that he is here to learn more about football, to then become the best in the world, and that he just wants to learn more and more. The guy gets a smile on himself and asks Isagi if he likes football, and Isagi says that of course he does, and that the more he learns about it, the more he's come to love it lately, explaining that even some tactics and formations have their own history, and that it's so cool, or even how the evolution of modern soccer has accelerated thanks to scientific analysis, and calling it incredible. Isagi's smile becomes huge as he continues and says that still, it's the individuality of each player that shapes the trends of an era, saying that it's why he's super excited about tonight's match. The other guy laughs before he calls Isagi lucky. Isagi says that he as well has to have one or two things that he really likes. The other guy then becomes all gloomy and stuff, as he says that he feels like he used to, but that it's been a long time since he's really understood himself. He then, with a creepy smile on his face, tells Isagi straight up that when he sees someone like Isagi who looks so happy, it makes him want to die. This obviously catches Isagi super off guard. However, he says that somehow he feels like he's said something wrong, and he even apologizes. The other guy says that he is the one in the wrong, and that it isn't Isagi's fault, and that he was just being overly sentimental. However, Isagi doesn't back down as he says that ever since they first met, the other guy has always smiled as if he was super lonely. That makes everything go black for the other guy as he is caught off guard and says that it's super rude. Isagi then apologizes but says that he's serious and that he really has that kind of face. Anyway, the other guy cuts the conversation short as he says that he should probably leave then, and he thanks Isagi for the fun time and hopes that he gets a nice football trip. Isagi waves him by before he goes back to order. He asks for something which the other guy recommends, and the cashier says that it's agua de ruda, which is some sort of water, and it leaves Isagi super confused. Some random guy to his right then says that you'll want to die if you drink that. Hey, it's Natsu mid-editing here, and I just wanted to pause the video to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, and while you're already down there, why not leave a like as well? Isagi looks annoyed and says that the other guy was a straight-up liar. He then rushes to the match, but luckily he made it just in time. He looks around and says that if the crowd had seen him like that, they would have probably laughed before he thinks that this is the passion of the historic Spanish League, and that it's the sacred ground of the world's greatest football. He then looks out at the super huge arena and thinks that maybe he will also be here someday. We then hear the commentator saying that the players from both teams are starting to enter. Just then, Lavinho enters the pitch, and all of the supporters are over the moon to see Lavinho walking out. Isagi just gets some sort of smug smile as he says that it's Lavinho and that he really is super popular, thinking that it's insane that these superstars really played in Blue Lock, which actually is kind of insane to think about, not gonna lie. Anyway, the kickoff then begins, but something is off as Isagi spots the guy from the restaurant on the field. He's totally mind blown by this and thinks that the lying guy from before plays for Barca. Isagi gets up his phone and sees that the guy is one of the regulars on the Barca team, and not only that, but that he is a new Gen 11 player, which is insane. His name is Bunny Iglesias, and he is a striker. He's 19 years old, and his height is 181 centimeters. And he weighs 76 kilograms if anyone is interested in that. But the most important part is that he is a core player in FC Barca's attacking lineup, and that he is a key figure in both scoring and assists from the beginning of the season. Lavinho then gets the ball, but passes it over to Bunny. Bunny then gets the ball, and all of the supporters screams his name out of excitement for him. Bunny then jumps up to meet the ball, and Isagi is completely in awe by his jumping ability, as he is able to jump super high up into the sky. But that's far from all, as in the sky he kicks the ball and scores a super goal. As the commentator says, Isagi looks super hyped after this, as he says that this guy could very well be one of his upcoming rivals in the U20 World Cup, thinking that he still doesn't know that the world-class talent is waiting. However, let me tell you guys that it's not even everything, as we see the GOAT Sayatoshi watching all of this go down, and he looks super pissed as he looks at Bunny, who just scored the goal. The ending text then says that, in the abyss of his eyes, boiling fighting spirit blazed fiercely. Amidst the intense clash with a powerful enemy, once again, something stirs in Sei's heart. Anyway, when the guy said that when he sees someone like Isagi who is happy, it makes him want to die, that probably has a connection to when Sei first came to Spain, as he was probably super happy when he first arrived as he was when he left Japan. And Bunny didn't like that. So when they played against each other, Bunny completely shut him down and told him that he would never make it as a striker, which probably left Sei's mental state pretty broken, and is why he changed to becoming a midfielder, because I mean this pretty much not fully confirms that it was Bunny that broke Sei. However, we could almost certainly that it was as he looked at him super mad. However, I'm super interested in what they will do from here on out. If Sei will continue to try and crush him by being a midfielder, however it would also be so cool if Sei has been inspired by Blue Lock to once again try and become a striker, to then crush Bunny, however that might be far-fetched. Anyway, let me just say that I'm so insanely happy to have the GOAT back in the story again, and not to mention that, but also a new generation World 11, which is just insane. Now I have to apologize for not going any deeper into the leaks and what I think will happen, as I've stayed up waiting for the leaks, and it's 8 AM now, and I haven't slept, so I'm going to do that. Also, if you have any video ideas for me, then please leave them down below, as I'm always looking for more, and then I can start to work on them when I wake up. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.